Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we're down here in Lake Mary, Florida, suburb of Orlando, just outside of Daytona Beach actually. But what we're doing is we're installing downspout drains with catch basins, hooking up the downspouts back in the back where Dan's digging, and a few catch basins along here, mostly because this home has no gutter system. So all that water drops in here between the 2 yards. It also comes off of the golf course behind the houses and runs down this direction. And you can see, very difficult for them to grow grass back here or anything because it's so wet, so flooded. So basically we're going to put in a 4-inch drain, several catch basins, hook up the downspouts, send it out here to the street with a pop-up emitter. And unfortunately in this neighborhood they won't let you cut the sidewalk, HOA, so we're going to have to tunnel this. And so I've already done the prep work, you can see, on both sides. Of course there's always a problem when you have sprinkler systems. You can see here's a cable line, we've got a sprinkler line, and there's actually a sprinkler head right here. This makes it difficult to tunnel the sidewalk. So we started our excavation, the trench from the downspout, and of course normally we do find a lot of this. If you can see it, we've got a sprinkler and it's right in our way, but not a big deal. We'll just move over a little bit and hook it up. Good shovel deep as we go. You'll notice that we put all of our dirt here in Florida especially onto a tarp because it's all sand, and it's a lot easier to put back in the trench, and of course underneath of the tarp it's quite clean. So we're going to continue the line on down, and here at this alcove of their house, they're actually going to extend their kitchen out here, so this will be an addition. But here in this low spot you can see there is no grass. Water just won't let it grow, so we're going to put a catch basin here, probably put another one back up there in the center of this section between there and the downspout, as well as another one in this area here somewhere, because water's just running down through this area. We want to collect that water and of course hook up that downspout and send it out here under the walk out to the curb where it can properly discharge. So to tunnel a sidewalk, it's the same no matter where you live. Basically you need to do some prep work. We need an area that we can put a long shovel under first, and we're going to scrape at the top of the sidewalk and scrape down. Then we come back underneath and pull the dirt out. We go all the way as far as we can go with the big shovel, then we'll switch over to a trenching shovel. Shovel is a 12-inch long spade, about 4.5 inches wide, coming up to 6 inches wide. This is what we use to actually get underneath of the sidewalk. We'll do the same thing on the other side, a little bit more tougher over here with a sprinkler line in the way, but we should still be able to get through that. And then we'll come out here to the curb and we'll discharge at a pop-up. So with your large shovel, find the bottom of that walk. It's right there, about 3-inch pour. And now we're just going to start by slowly coming through. We want to get it off of the top of that walk. Okay, in just about 7 minutes you can see just how far I'm underneath the sidewalk with this shovel. Okay, so just in a few minutes I'm going to mark this and we'll put it up here so you can see where we're at. And I mean, we're just a few inches from the other side. I'm actually breaking through at the top. We'll go ahead and take a video of that in just a second. So you can see our tunnel, we just need to clean it out and widen it just a little bit. Long tunnel underneath the sidewalk. And you can also see why you need to stay at the top. At the other end, of course, we've got dirt laying in that line. You don't want to have a belly. So cutting sod, you could lay out a piece of pipe, but I'm just going to use my eye. We're just going to come right down along one side and cut off, just sink your shovel down in. lift up just a little bit. Continue that, all the way down. Do the same thing on the other side. You just want to be a shovel wide. Then you want to cut off maybe a 1 foot section, sink it under, use your body weight, push it underneath so that you just take off the top bit of soil and sod. And then you just flip it over. Let it sit right beside your trench. Take care of your sod because you want to put it back. Then you'll come back and take your dirt out and set it on top of your tarp. Try to keep it as close as possible because you're going to put it back in. So you can see we've got the sod set on one side and the dirt set up on the plastic. We've got our trench all the way out here to the sidewalk where we tunneled under, and it was going to discharge to a pop-up emitter right out here by the curb. So Dan's been busy back here. You can see he's dug almost 100 feet. Nice trench. You can see, again, things I talk about in other videos. You can see the groundwater here. We're down about 18 inches, and this is the level of water in the soil. And you can see it in different spots throughout the trench. This is one of the reasons that water doesn't drain well, in subdivisions, especially when you can see, they're on a golf course, and even though it's lower down there, it's much higher up here. And of course they've drained the golf course extremely well. Where does that water go? Well, it ends up back here on people's properties and their foundations. So putting in a downspout drain, yard drain with catch basins, sometimes with gravel, works really good.
You've seen me do this in several other videos. You need to take off the lid. You'll need your handy dandy drill and a Phillips head screwdriver bit. The adapters, there's two of them. One of them has a solids piece that you pop off because we're using a double inlet. One comes in, one comes out. These actually just snap in place, and then you twist them hard to hold them tight. Same thing on the second catch basin. Remove the screws that hold the lid. You can put the screws back if you want, but they're really not necessary. That lid will not move. Same thing, there are instructions if you need them. Slide your adapter onto the side of the catch basin, twist it, it locks in place. Pop off your plug, same thing, twist your adapter onto the side of the catch basin and it will lock in place. If you decide to put the screws back, again, just use your handy dandy drill and just screw it down tight. Again, you don't need to put screws back. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's really up to you. Next, we're going to go ahead and set these catch basins in place. We'll show you how to do that here in just a second.
So here's the catch basin installed, and you can see the lid on it. And we're a little bit below grade because we want the water to drop into our basin. So of course we're a little bit below grade. Continue on. He's digging the next spot for the next catch basin. So now we're connecting our next piece of pipe to the catch basin. This pipe just slides inside that fitting. Then what we do is we take a screw and we secure that pipe because it tends to work its way out. You can put it anywhere you want. That just helps hold that pipe in place. Push it down to the proper grade and you're all set. Okay, so we've pulled our pipe underneath the walk. Had to go underneath of the cable and underneath of the sprinkler line as well. Those things make it difficult to tunnel when they're in your way, especially when they're at the same depth you want to be. We're discharging out here at a pop-up drain. If you remember what a pop-up is, a pop-up emitter. Water comes down the line and then it lifts up this little lid and disperses across the area. Pop-ups work okay, not too well in a level yard. It would have been nicer if we could have went and cored through this curb right here, because then we'd have 4 more inches of fall to help that water escape. Remember, this yard is fairly flat, and we're starting about 130, 140 feet back in the back there. So we want that water to be able to run downhill. Gravity, water runs downhill. We've added catch basins in low spots so that as surface water floods across, it'll drop into the basin and be carried away. Tried to put them in the low spots of the yard. Of course, they're going to need to do some regrading, to get things exactly right. But for the most part, I believe that we're going to catch the bulk of this water without any worries. We've hooked up to the downspout drain here. This is where the line begins. Now, all we need to do is cover, straighten up the soil and sod. So we're cleaning up. Dan's doing a great job moving all that soil all by himself. It's pretty hard to do. Remember, sand is actually way heavier than clay because it holds so much water. Weighs about twice as much. But basically we'll just finish raking this back up on the trench and it'll all settle and we'll be all done here. Cleanup of your job is always the hardest part, mostly because you're so tired. And especially if you're doing this all by yourself, you're going to be pretty tired. Better to do it in 2 days if you have to. As with most jobs that we do here in the Orlando area, we have to take our soil away because there's really no place for it in these yards. You can see they're so well manicured all around and have lawn service. You can see the lawn service truck over here. Everybody's got a lawn service, so there's really no place to put excess soil, so you do have to haul it, unless you've got a mound that you want to build or something like that. So here's the pop-up emitter, you can see, and we've just left the sod off the top. It comes right up, water comes out the line, floods out and over the system. Installed under the sidewalk, sod set back, that will all settle. Do not remove your excess soil. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.